What's going on, nephews and nieces? It's your favorite uncle, everybody's Uncle Phil. And let me ask you a question. Come here. Why haven't you started yet? And what if the reason isn't because you're afraid to fail, but because you're actually afraid of what success might demand from you? If you've ever asked yourself that question publicly or privately to yourself, pull up a chair. Let's have a conversation. See, I've been thinking about this question a lot, and honestly, I don't think that it's that we want to fail. I really don't. You're really not afraid to fail. Check this out. See, failure is private. And many times when you fail, it happens quietly. But starting's a public thing. Everybody sees when you start. See, starting means somebody's gonna have an opinion. Starting means somebody's gonna notice you. You're gonna become visible to them. See, this is why I feel staying stuck actually might feel safer, because you haven't started yet. And since you haven't started, that means you're protected. This is actually kind of interesting. This is why I'm thinking about it a lot today.
Fit check today, first fit check of the 2026 now. Got first the retro berry hoodie, then I wanted to do the zip up, the vest zipper, all black. Match the black with the black shoes, coordination, light Air Maxes, nothing too crazy. And then baggy jeans. Can't do the skinny jeans, no skinny jeans. Leave those in 2025.
I mean, I know it's wintertime, but it's beautiful out here. All right, gotta get this workout in. It ain't fun. Honestly, I really don't want to do it, but I know that I gotta do it. So we gotta make it happen today. Sometimes you just gotta do the things you don't want to do. I honestly think people got it wrong. I don't think they're afraid of a failure. I actually think people are afraid to succeed, which is why they don't start. I'm going around, I'm asking people what hinders people or why don't people actually start?
I think people are scared or afraid to start because they're too worried about the ending. People are always anxious about how things will turn out in the end, and people are afraid of failure. So I just think people are afraid of failure.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that one. That whole being afraid of failure thing. We're gonna talk about that. That's good.
People are afraid to start because the start is when they're most uncomfortable. They're most frightened of something totally new, embarrassing themselves, looking foolish. That is all involved when you start. It's easier just to not start.
I think sometimes people are paralyzed about starting because they just don't want to disrupt the status quo. They don't want to rock the boat. And I think in their heart, they have a fear they're going to start and then they know they might not follow through. And so in some ways, their fear of starting is really fear of disappointing themselves because they're looking at themselves as the audience and realizing if they don't follow through, they are going to ultimately be really disappointed. So I think that keeps me often from starting. Like right now, I need to be learning German because I'm going on a trip next summer. What am I doing? Cleaning my office.
People are afraid to start because they're afraid of perceptions of starting something new and being judged by their peers.
I think people don't actually start because they're fear and they live in this constant state of fear that nothing's going to turn out the way they want, like people are going to make fun of them, personal experience. And they live in this constant anxiety. So I think they don't really start because they're just scared to start, you know? They need that little push.
So there's this quote that I've carried with me for a long time. It's from Marianne Williamson. And the quote actually says, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond our own measure. And y'all, I think that kind of tells us a whole lot. See, success brings responsibility. It actually raises the expectations. And when you're successful, it means you don't get to say, I just don't know, because now you do. Once you prove you're capable, excuses stop working. And that's why I feel starting feels heavier than failing. Failure lets you hide. Success doesn't. You know, the one thing that we don't talk enough about, especially when we're talking about success and failure, what happens if this thing works? You know, if the thing that we are attempting actually works, we can never go back. No, I'm coming to realize that success changes how people see you. But more than that, I think success really changes how you see you. Once you actually prove to yourself that you're capable of doing a thing, right? Once you can say, you know what, I'm able to do this. I can do this. You lose the excuse of playing small now. You can't play small. You can only play big games. I guess this is why familiar struggle can feel safer than unfamiliar responsibility. It's kind of heavy, but it's real. All right, niece and nephews. So listen, today was super, super cool being able to go around and talk to people and ask them the simple question, why don't people get started? Just real quick, have you gotten started yet? Anyways, listen, what I want to do in tonight's check-in, I just want to break down 3 observations that I had from going around and having this conversation with people today. My first takeaway from today is that failure is familiar in many cases. I really don't think failure is the thing that scares us as much as we think that it does. I just think it's familiar to us. But here's the thing with failure. You failed before and you've also recovered. So what that should tell you is that you know how to recover from failure. Failure may be uncomfortable, but it doesn't change who you think you are. The second big takeaway from today was success is simply unfamiliar. As I was going around and I was having conversations, what I found out was that people just think success brings responsibility, and it does. And with that responsibility come expectations. See, once you admit that you're capable of doing something, life starts requiring more of you. So success requires you to become the greatest version of yourself. And third, starting is an identity decision. It may not even be about doing something new. So I want you to think about this. Instead of doing something new, I want you to think about just becoming something new. See, it's not the fear of failure that stops you. It might just be the fear of becoming. So tonight, I don't want you to ask yourself why you haven't started, but ask yourself this instead. If this worked, who would I have to become? And listen, y'all, that answer isn't something to run from. It's something to grow into. So you're not stuck. You're literally standing on the edge of who you're becoming. Remember, starting doesn't mean that you have to have it all figured out. It just means that we have to be brave enough to quit hiding. Pull up a chair. On the next one, we're going to talk about life and have real conversations with your uncle. And listen, never forget, you matter way more than you think. We'll holler at you next time.